Greetings and salutations. What's going on? Market Mondays. Another glorious edition. Let's get this going. Janet with the plan. What is the deal?
What up, Rashad? Hi, Ian.
Janet, how you doing, Rashad? What kind of merch you got on? Who get that from? Hove? Come on, man.
Nah, we got the assets over liabilities and pink, and then we got the signature Ralph Lauren hat. That was a staple growing up. Polo was very important to us. So
of course.
Got
a little pink background for you too. A little pink lip moisturizer, Shout out LL. Man, coming up with the jokes early. Pink coconut. Well, shout out Cameron. Pink horsepower. What would he got?
Oh, the horsepower. Yeah. I noticed you have not been wearing a tie lately. Is there a certain reason why?
I'm in playoff mode.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're in grind mode right now.
Yeah, just put in like another 13 hours of practice on a presentation yesterday, so I'm in full war mode. Jordan Game 6 vibe. So.
Okay. Yeah. My mom asked me, she was like, I noticed Ian hasn't worn a suit in the last couple of weeks. I'm like, yeah, I did notice that. So
hopefully Sunday is working. Yeah. Hates put all this time in. People like, man, that was a dud. He hyped that up for nothing. So, yeah, but Sunday did be great.
Oh man. All right, let's get into this. Shout out to all the earners worldwide that's tuned in right now. Well, first, before we start, we got to rest in peace to Kobe Bryant.
Yes.
We have the sneakers right there, the Mamba. Today was his birthday. I think he would have turned 43, I believe, today. Yeah. So yeah, we're going to talk about investing. We're going to talk about making money. We're going to have some fun, but it's important to cherish the moment. We never know when our time will be called, no matter how much money we have, no matter what our stature is on earth. It can all go away in the blink of a moment. And I remember when Kobe passed away, we actually had an event. It's ironic. We had an event in Atlanta. And I made the announcement like in the middle of our event. And it's something I'll never forget. So rest in peace to the legend, Kobe Bryant. Blessings to his wife, blessings to his children, his parents, his family. And let us all remember the Mamba mentality.
Absolutely.
And carry his work ethic, carry his passion in everything that we do. If you're not doing it to be the best, then why are you doing it?
Absolutely. And not only was he a great athlete, incredibly intelligent, and the crazy part, he would have ended up being one of the greatest investors of all time. He retired, won an Oscar. Body Armor was doing great, was about to do the shoe or did the shoe deal in China. Like, his star power was, and that's what I said before. Like, if Brady starts a hedge fund, or you can't count Kobe out, man. Like, Kobe was going to do some tremendous things. So God rest his soul. That's why we always tell you guys, spend time with your family. You never know. You may have a plan to retire and then get all those memories back, and may not happen the way that you plan. So
absolutely. Yes, I'm not breaking up the band. Troy is still.
Y'all would be crazy.
Troy's still with us, man. He's still on
Troy House.
Exactly.
Internet wild, yo. Yeah, what happened was the Ian acting Hollywood now, and they moved Troy out. Troy about to go with 85 South, and y'all make up anything. Shout out to 85 South. My God. Everybody's good.
Yeah. Now the band has not been broken up. Troy's just on a little sabbatical, but he will be back with us very soon.
Yeah, shout out to my guy.
Let's get this announcement from our sponsor. This episode of Market Mondays is brought to you by Ally Financial. Ally is an option if you're looking to bank or invest. Ally Financial is a leading digital financial services company with passionate customer service and innovative financial solutions. They are relentlessly focused on doing it right and being a trusted financial service provider to both customers and communities. Get with Ally and make the most of your money so you can save, invest, spend on the things that matter to you. Shout out to Ally.
Yeah, shout out to Ally. Amazing company.
Yeah. Disclaimer. Do your own research. Our content is intended to be used and must be used for informational purposes only. It is very important to do your own analysis before making any investment based on your own personal circumstances. You should take independent financial advice from a professional in connection with or independently research and verify any information you find on our show and wish to rely on, whether for purposes of making an investment decision or otherwise. Yes, very important. Do your own research, please,
Yes,
ladies and
please.
gentlemen. Okay, before we start, we got to talk about Invest Fest very quickly. Invest Fest, we have 2 days left. It's going to be a sold out event, Atlanta, Georgia. I'm getting excited, more excited every single day. I'm about to lock in. I haven't gotten a haircut. I'm not going to get a haircut until Friday.
Yeah, I'm not getting one on Thursday.
Yeah, so hopefully we see everybody at Invest Fest. It's still time to get a few tickets. If you have some wiggle room in your schedule, go to investfest.com and we will see you there. Ticket sales stop on Wednesday, so please do not hit me up in the DM on Thursday night, Friday. You know how black people
Or me either. Yeah, I
Yo.
can't get you in. I'm not meeting you in Norcross, Jonesboro, Alpharetta. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah. Also, if you know me, that does not mean that you just can come to Invest Fest and just say like, "Yo, I'm here on Rashad's bill." Like, it's not how this works. This is not a party. I've heard some rumors of some ramblings that's been going on. Contact me if you know me. Contact me. Please do not just show up in Atlanta. Please. Yeah. I will have no control. I will not be answering my phone. There will be thousands of people there. Please don't do that.
Yeah.
That's not the best way to go about it. Humbly.
I know please. Troy would answer his phone, but he's not here right now. So please be there. And for those of you, I'll be presenting on Sunday. For those of you that are like, hey, I'm tired of the 2-tech, 2-index thing, I'm going to be going over the full. Like, this is actually my actual 2023 hedge fund plan that I'll be giving you guys. So hope you enjoy it. It's going to be a hell of a show.
Yes. Okay. This week on Earn Your Leisure, we got a big week. We have a episode coming out tomorrow with Ryan Glover. Ryan Glover is the co-founder and head of Greenwood Bank, Black-owned fintech bank, and he also sold Bounce TV. Remember Bounce TV?
Mm-hmm.
He sold that a few years ago for $302 million.
Oh, damn. God, well done, black man. Damn.
So him and Paul Judge, they started Greenwood Bank. So these guys are really, really smart guys with a lot of money. And it's just a really dope, interesting conversation to get in the mind of somebody that has, a financial institution. So check that out tomorrow. And then Wednesday, we have open enrollment on YouTube, 8:00. My boy, Matty J, the episode went crazy about Toro. A lot of people had questions about Toro, specifically about insurance and stuff like that. Yeah. So we're going to bring Matty J on live at 8:00 to answer questions. One of the best personalities online. Matty J, I don't know where he gets his energy from, but the guys,
him and Ash Cash, they need an energy drink. Man,
him and
I do
Ash
not know
Cash,
how y'all do it.
They need to go on tour together, motivational
For
tour.
Real.
So yeah, that is that, and then of course Invest Fest this weekend. So, Ian, any announcements that you would like to make before we get into this investment conversation?
Yeah, really quick. You guys have been amazing to me for the last year. So I will be at booth 811, or the Red Panda Nation family will be there. I was going to sell merch, so we're going to do tumblers, hats, and shirts. Want to make the announcement. Don't act up. I love y'all. Stock Club members, you guys can go there first. You have to show your receipt. If you're a Stock Club member, you'll be able to get all the merch for free. After Stock Club, the general public, you'll be able to grab your hats, tumblers, Red Panda shirts for free. You guys have supported the hell out of me and listen to my crazy Kanye ramblings and give out these random prices. Shout out Bam when Bam thought I was just making shit up. But it worked. Bitcoin 50,000. We're gonna get into it soon. Yeah. But I wanted to give back and not just sell, because the other stuff is high ticket usually. But so yeah, the merch at the booth will be free. And then for those of you that want to be in on the free fund, you guys at Invest Fest will be the first ones to be able to sign up after Stock Club. So if that's dope for you and you think that's dope, please put dope in chat, and I'll see you at the VIP event, and then Saturday and Sunday.
That's dope. That is dope. Neo will be dropping. Speaking of, you say you're going to talk about that. Neo will be dropping his NFT exclusively at InvestFest,
That's
exclusively
hard.
for the people at InvestFest on the VIP night. So that is a dope.
That's
You know,
smart.
he's one of my favorite performers anyway. So I'm interested in just watching him. But I didn't even know about the NFT thing. They reached out. They're like, "Yo, he got this NFT." I'm like, "Yeah, let's do it. That's
That
perfect."
boy's
So,
smart.
yeah.
I mean, he's a star for a reason. Like I know you guys like look at entertainers and think that they are not strategic or creative, but these guys are machines. Like even when I put up a post like the Kanye said like Travis Scott should have like an entire company around him, a guy was like, "Hey, artists don't drive that much revenue," and I'm like, I don't know what planet you're on, but like if you ever seen a record label's books, one artist can bring in $60 million for a label. That's one artist. So look at what some of these stars are doing. Jagged Edge would be there. Like, see how they move, how they interact with people. And one thing I've always noticed: the people that are the most successful are usually the nicest. I've seen Neo out and about. He's a networking monster too. So like, pick up on those things. Same with Matty J. Like I told you when he did his interview, I'm like, I know the content gonna be fire, but look how he dresses, how he drives, use that to drive traffic. There are tools and tricks inside of the game that you guys will be able to pick up on just by watching as well. So
absolutely. All right, let's get into this. So Bitcoin,
yes.
it cracked over 50. It cracked over 50,000 today. I think it retreated just under 50,000, like the last time I checked it a couple hours ago, but cracked over 50,000 today. So you put on Instagram that in 63 days, Bitcoin will recover. I believe, was that 62 days ago? 63 days ago?
62 days ago.
That was 62 days ago?
Yeah.
What was the price at that point in time?
All right, it was in the 30s, I believe. This when everybody was panicking.
So, okay. So what made you so confident that in 62 days or 63 days, Bitcoin was going to reach back to $50,000?
It goes back to the question you asked me last time. Were we on here or were we doing another interview? Oh, I think we was on live with Keys. And he was like, how many hours do you spend in the market every day?
Yeah.
Remember the answer I told you?
10, something like that, 12, something like that.
11 hours.
Yeah.
So going to that Mamba thing, like the only secret, if I can be real with y'all, the only secret is like systems and then hard work. The more time you put into learning the craft, you'll start to see correlation. So like if you guys, and I'll give you guys a tip, if you go look at every time Bitcoin is drawn over 40%, go do the homework. There is an average amount of time that it takes to go back up. Some people were saying, hey, is a Fibonacci time ratios? That's not it. But if you look to see what the averages are, so in your notebook, like when you got a notebook like this, you should be able to write down all the correlations that you see. So I know for the S&P 500, Dow, Russell, Bitcoin, ADA, because Kayla's been pushing us in it, Ethereum. I know how long the drops will usually last and how long they'll take to go up. It may take you 4 or 5 hours per asset to do, but trust me, it pays off incredibly well. So for those you got in that 28,000 and some change, and saw it go up in those 62 days. Or maybe I'm a time traveler, but the 11 hours a day definitely will get you the breakthrough that you need.
What do you think? What do you think Bitcoin's projected price could possibly be in like a 2 to 5 year time frame?
You know they're gonna come out in that because he the Bitcoin a year ago. Yeah, because my coins is gone. You know how much I'll be up right now. 3-year price, if we keep going at this pace, and I was talking to Dream Team earlier, I think I can't prove it yet, so don't put this on the record. But I think a lot of hedge funds are starting to use crypto in the same fashion in which I use futures, where I take a small portion of my portfolio, put it there to get like a crazy return. But if we keep going at this pace for the next 3 years, we should be at $151,318 in like 39 months. I know it sounds crazy, but
there you have it. No, that sounds pretty reasonable, actually.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty reasonable. That's only triple from where it is now. So, you know, that sounds like it can definitely hit that. Bitcoin is something that is not going away, ladies and gentlemen. So we encourage you to learn about cryptocurrency. If you have not learned the ins and outs of cryptocurrency, it is important to educate yourself. Speaking on that, another crypto that is making a lot of wave, Cardano. ADA, something that I'm invested in personally. I've been invested in since 2017. Okay, ADA, it's on a run. It's on a run right now. A lot of times when crypto goes up, people don't really pay attention to the altcoins, but the altcoins are the alternative coins outside of Bitcoin. But Ethereum is 3,300 and ADA is $2.92. And I would be remiss to say if XRP is $1.25, XRP is climbing up as well.
Yeah, because everyone's trying to hedge if in case that case goes in their favor. Then that, I mean, it's going to take off like a rocket. I will agree with that. I just don't like to invest early in things that are getting beat up. I'm going to put a lot of money to it, but yeah, if Ripple beats that case, they'll probably hit $9 in no time.
Open the floodgates.
Yeah, absolutely. And then with Cardano, kudos to Kayla. If you guys invested in ADA because of Kayla, please put Kayla in chat. But the price that I think it'll hit is 7. And here's the thing: Bitcoin is like, let's say NASDAQ. Ethereum is like the S&P 500. ADA would be like the Russell 2000 or maybe the Nikkei. The thing that I want you guys to see is how you invest in one thing is literally the blueprint to how you invest in everything else. If you ever looked into angel investing, they'll tell you about lockup periods that are usually 5 to 10 years. For those of you that invest in real estate, you usually get a good return around the 5 and then 10-year mark. Ideally, if you can hold for 30, great. The blueprint to invest in is the same across the board. They just make you think that because it's a different asset class, there's a different process. One process to be able to dominate everything and you'll be good. Yeah, so think of alternative coins as a smaller index or smaller portion of the market. Cardano may not ever lead the pack in a way Bitcoin will, but you don't need them to. Same way I told you guys last year in December, I think, to study the Russell 2000, you need to go look at the top probably 10 or 15 altcoins. And Kayla gave you a pretty dope alley-oop for free. I think it was like around $1.10 when she told you to get in it. So I hope you guys are profited well off that.
And it's important. Like you said, a lot of things have similarities. So it's like if you invest in the stock market and you're just starting out, or even if you're seasoned, the most responsible thing to do with the less taking risk out of it is to invest in the bigger companies, right? That's why we talk about Apple, Microsoft, Google, Tesla. We always talk about all of those big companies. There's a reason why we talk about those, because they're the safer plays.
Yeah.
Same thing with crypto. So like my personal crypto portfolio, I have Bitcoin, I have Ethereum, I have ADA, I have XRP, I have Dogecoin, I have Litecoin, I have Stellar, I have VET, Tron, Neo, OMG, and a few others. So I say that to say, if you look at the coin market cap, most of all of those coins are in the top 10. So it's not like and I had all these coins for a long time. So except for Dogecoin, I'll be honest about that, but that's a different story. But I had all these coins for a long time. So it would be safe to say that, you know, it's almost impossible if all of those coins just fall out the top 10.
Absolutely. I mean, it's no different than building a team. Like if you have LeBron, Kawhi, Melo, like Cardano may be like, I don't know. I don't want to say a basketball player and they get upset, but like Jamal Crawford or something, like super explosive. You never know when it's going to take off, but when it does, it's like, oh, wow, like this is a great addition. So when you guys are starting to build your portfolio, and the great thing, Rashad, that you do, like once you believe in something, you will hold it no matter what anybody says. Like, I'm like, hey, what you think of that? You like, I'll give it a couple years. Like, that's why I tell you guys, like, write this down. Risk to reward ratio is the number one indicator. Number 2 is time in. If you just hold most things for 10 years, and I want this first homework assignment for tonight, I want you to go look at how often the things that you invest in, if you hold them over any 10-year period, how much you'll be up. Gold and probably silver may be the only things you may be drawing down on. On everything else that is volatile, and for the snipers, for those of you that trade NASDAQ, you can see the parallels and speed of NASDAQ and crypto, and how when they have booms, they have extreme booms, so they may pop up 100% in a couple of days. And then when they draw down, they may draw 50% over the course of a couple months. But if you stay in for a long enough period of time, and I'll say this on record, it almost makes no sense to be a perma bear in anything. Like you're going to get what, 12% over 5 years. Like, so when you guys are saying that, well, I want to short this asset, even for those you want to do puts, I'm like, why? the probability and risk to reward ratio of you hitting it out of the park, like you have to realize, like even when Michael Burry had his big home run, he had to go make a synthetic product that only he believed in. And not to say it was small, but like his return in the Big Short was less than 600%. He got rid of the clients. Now he's freer. Returns have been pretty damn good ever since because the client load is off, and him being his only client, as Josh talked about, like client alpha or client selection is really key. But it makes almost no sense in any game, media, music, marketing, podcasting, real estate, e-commerce, digital platforms, to be short almost any asset class because you're going the wrong direction of the trend.
And one thing that everybody needs to keep in mind is that investments were not made to go down. If you really think about it, right? So somebody came up with the idea to have an investment way before stock market. They was exchanging all kinds of stuff on different exchanges. And even when people started actually monetizing real estate and buying real estate. So the whole point of any type of investment is for it to go up over the course of time. That's the whole in a third grade explanation. Yeah, that's the premise of it. Now, in between that, it does have periods where it can go down, but the stock market was not created for it to go down. It wasn't. So when you're, like you said, when you're hedging, you just have to be careful because when you're too bearish, over the course of time, you're going to lose money because the stock market goes up over the course of time. That's what it's designed to do. If it doesn't go up over the course of time, there's no reason to have it. Right? There's no reason to have an investment if it's not designed to go up over the course of time. So this is why it is important to invest in solid companies, and we can relate this back to crypto. It's important to invest in solid coins because odds are they're going to go up. It's just a matter of how much they'll go up and how long, that time frame will be. But they all go up over the course of time if you play your cards right.
Yeah, and I know you guys are looking for gains and maybe like the bottom 10% of the market, but unless a big market maker gets behind them, and then there's enough of an audience there to keep that price above a certain ratio, it's not good to, because if you look at, Kayla's been saying like her strategy, like how I do 2 tech and 2 index, hers is Bitcoin, ADA, Ethereum. So like if you just take the top part of the crust or the top 2 or 3 in the space, that will work across the board in any sector. Like even for companies that are going to go public, I'm always going to look at the top 2 venture capital firms. I'm always going to look at the top 2 angels. For those of you in real estate, if you buy in the top 2 markets, you have a very good chance of doing well. When you are digging into the bottom 50% of the market, that's when a lot of danger begins to happen.
Yeah, go after what pays. And it's important to know who's invested in it because you can become rich by association. So like you said, if you know that, these hedge funds are investing in it and that wealthy people are investing in it, they're not investing in it to lose money. So odds are if they're in it, it's crazy how it's like people psych themselves out of getting money because they're like, sometimes it could be too good to be true. And it's like, all right, nah, Bitcoin, Ethereum, ADA, no, I want Sky Moon coin that's like 0.1 because if it goes up to 0.2, I double my money. But good luck. You've been warned. Not really the best way to go about it, but
don't do that.
Okay.
I read a great quote this weekend that the actions that we take are often correlated to the goals that we have. A lot of times when people are investing, they're just doing it for excitement, not to actually make money from it. So I want all of you guys to like put what is your goal from investing, and not just the generational wealth thing that everybody says because it's a cute thing to say, but like what's the real, because truth be told, like for most Black families, by the 2nd generation, their generational wealth gets destroyed. Definitely by the 3rd for most families. Like, but once have your anchor for what your goal is. Yes, Troy has earned his leisure, but he will be coming back. But like, if that is your primary goal, you have to know, and every decision that I make has to be in correlation with that. Maybe we need to do a thing about like financial goal setting and how to hit some big benchmarks, because that's why I'll tell you guys, like, even if you don't like my stance, if you're an investor or a trader, you can't argue with the thesis around it. You may not like the way I deliver it, or you may think that you should be in the spot. But if you are looking to produce money, it's one of the simplest strategies that's been working for 300-400 years to like invest in the top 1% of an asset class and let it continue to grow.
Yes, it has. And that brings us to my next question for you. So the importance of marrying one target and investing in trading, and don't be faithful. Let's talk about that because people have
Man,
short attention spans.
I'm gonna be real. If I can go back and make one decision over again when it comes to trading specifically, it would be to have one target and one target only and do not deviate. Because it's no different than like, well, you was killing that corner jumper, so maybe the corner your spot. I like the top of the key. But like if I get an area which I know that works, why do we deviate from it? Like even in hoop, we've all seen ball players who like don't even have a ratio to how many shots on the interior they'll take before they'll take a three. Like we'll see some players take 9 threes and won't hit anything. For all of my traders out there, get one target that you can easily hit. And then when I was out in Chichen Itza, I was like, that trip, talk about power of, positive thoughts and like speaking things into existence. We talked about this weekend. But the thing that I think I'd probably be 4 light years ahead if I would have just stuck to one target from 2016, maybe 2015 through now. Because for those of you that like want to work for a fund or work in the industry, you want to build like a client base. The thing that clients are looking for from you is reliability. Like drawdowns for Tino index, all that, like that factors in. But they want to know day in and day out, month in and month out, quarter in and quarter out. If I give you $100,000, what is my return on that capital going to be with safety? Every time we create a new target, and for everybody who traded futures with us in the sniper program, put yes if you agree. Every time you go to a new target, you then have to relearn the system all over again, and then have to build the confidence to be able to hit that target over and over again. And then all these subconscious doubts come in like, you can't do it, you don't deserve it, you're not worthy. So if you stick with one target, it eliminates pretty much all of that fear. And even with long-term investing, you guys may not like the answer, but the true answer is to hold companies for 30 years. But if you're not going to do that, you should hold them for 500% return and then be done.
And focus on what you're invested in and double down on that. You don't necessarily have to know the entire stock market. You don't have to know the entire crypto market. Just got to really, really focus on what you're investing in. So I say that to say, looking at my own personal portfolio, I'm not investing in a variety of different things, but I do have what some would call a decent portfolio. So the AMD, something that we've been talking about for a long time, it's up $4. It was up $4 today. $108. A lot of people gave up on AMD because it was moving sideways.
Yes,
stay patient, stay diligent with that. IBB. Remember, I was talking about IBB for a long time. Another one that was moving sideways for a long time, not really doing anything. IBB. It awoke. It was up $4 today. Almost at its 52-week high right now. $72, $172 in the after hour. Performed extremely well. IBB is the biotech ETF. For anybody who's not familiar. And so, okay, let's talk about this biotech industry real quick, because now they're saying that you are going to need booster shots every 8 months from the corona shot. So you take the corona shot, and then every 8 months you will need a booster shot from the corona. There are several different variants of corona. Now they have the Delta variant, and then there's a variant of the Delta.
They got new colorways every week, huh?
It's like a mixtape. You never can't keep up.
Yeah.
So I say that to say, no matter how you feel about the vaccine, different story. We're not here for that. That's not this show.
Yeah.
But it is a big business of not just corona. Corona just highlights biotech, but biotech, what it stands for, biotechnology. And it's a combination between biology and technology. It's pretty much, if you really think about it, that's probably the most recession-proof thing in the whole world.
Yeah.
People's always going to need medicine. They get sick. Nobody's never not going to get sick. And technology is what we talk about all the time.
All the time.
So the marriage of technology and medicine, which is biotech, I mean, that's like a bulletproof baby, in my opinion.
Yeah. Especially during recessions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Because people get sicker in recessions.
Yes. More people die. divorce rate is up, domestic abuse is up, illness is up, stress is up. Like there's a lot of factors that. So when you guys are like, "Hey, we want another one," I'm like, there's some after effects that happen with that, and I feel like I sent it to the stock club. Like some people are estimating that the economy will not recover probably for 10 or 15 years. And that's a scary thought. But remember, I told you guys, like every recession provides a chance for economic reset. And even with AI, as much as I love technology, and I'll touch on this real quick, and I'll get in and out because I don't want the tech people on me. The purpose of automation and AI is to eliminate all jobs in the ecosystem, especially for those of our color. So for when I talk to some people privately, and I know you guys like tell me who you talk to, I'm not gonna do that because I don't want to ruin my relationships. But automation and AI, they're called the perfect slaves. Don't talk back, don't argue. Now, everyone that I know in AI space is like, we may have 40 years, 50 years, probably until they're able to interface with each other and dialogue with each other to actually be able to take over. But if we are looking at a possible repositioning and widening of our wealth gap, what would be the perfect entity to do it? It would be a soulless entity that could replace us. And now we can't say, well, it was them who moved us out. So the tech thing is very scary because it's beautiful in one sense, because in one sense of the word, we're kind of playing God with technology. The other part is when you play God, you end up in hell. And the side effects of that is that we are going to have a wider wealth gap. The unemployment rate is going to be a hell of a lot higher for us in 10 or 15 years. So like for those of you that are like, hey, what should I put my kid into? You have to get them to AI coding and technology. Otherwise, they're going to be left behind. And this is not a conspiracy rant. This is for me having like direct dialogue from people that are in the space. So kudos to you. I won't ever reveal who you are, but thank you for the conversation you've given me.
You know, one of the reasons why slavery, people think that when the North abolished slavery, it was just done out of the goodness of the heart, or even when the South finally realized, you know, they lost the war. But the thing that really killed slavery, the autobiography of Frederick Douglass is a great book, and what he said was, you know, they realized that it was just an inefficient way of doing things after a while, because with the invention of the cotton gin, you can pick cotton a lot faster with a machine than a person.
Yes.
So after a while, manual labor it's not efficient. But what Frederick Douglass was saying was like, you know, they can still, you know, keep slaves because now they don't actually have to put you on the plantation, but now you're just working and you're spending all your money, and now, you know, you don't have any money anyway. So really, you're just giving your money back anyway. That's a more advanced, high level conversation. I say that to say everything.
And we're not victim blaming, and we're not, because I hate when you guys do that, but like you guys are playing a race card. Like, no, like
it's just reality. So what I was saying is, so that's one thing that just became inefficient is slavery. It just wasn't efficient.
Yeah.
So what now is not efficient is a lot of manual labor jobs. So like I live in New York. So there was a time where, you know, you have toll booth workers, right? And every time you cross a toll, somebody takes your money and they cash your money for you. And that was jobs, you know, hundreds of people, thousands of people had jobs. There is no tolls in New York anymore. Everything is toll-less. They take a picture, either have Easy Pass or they take a picture and they send you a bill in the mail. So they realized that how much fuel was wasted, how much time was wasted from having workers doing that. We're seeing the same thing with Amazon Go stores with cashiers. Yep. We're going to see the same thing. And it's not to, you know, we're not criticizing people that work in those type of jobs. I'm just saying it just is what it is.
I want you to make the adjustment.
Yeah. A lot of these manual labor jobs are just not, they don't make sense. And it's more efficient to hire a robot to get to have AI do the job. So all of this goes into play with the technology that we keep speaking about and why these technology companies are leading the pack, because as the world changes, technology is taking over, people are losing their jobs. So you either adjust or unfortunately, you become a victim.
Yeah.
So another company that I want to talk about that I'm invested in, Troy actually put me in. I almost lost faith in this one, but he's definitely diligent about this. This is another one that was moving sideways for a long time. CRM, Salesforce. Yeah. So Salesforce is finally awake from its coma. If you look at this chart, it was definitely not looking good for a very long period of time, but it's on the rise again. Is up almost $5 today, $260. Salesforce
not that
is
far
on the
from the
move.
all-time high either. Yeah, not that far. I told you guys before, don't bet against Benioff. It's not one of the sexier tech companies like Salesforce, like Tim Duncan. It's like it gets the job done, but you're not going to see it on Sports Center every night, like with a bunch of flashy plays. But if you just, and even when it's going sideways, I want you guys to think for a quality company that is like a top 50 company. Those are moments in which you get a chance to build a base. Because if you could have bought a bunch of shares at 210.79 or 221, it's at 260 right now, you would be having a great August, great September, great October. So please write this in chat. Like when a stock is moving sideways, that is quality, build your base, because the upside is tremendous. I think it went up too fast last year when it got to 284, and then it came from 284 and it had a slow, and when you're in it, when a company is moving sideways or drawing down, every month feels like you've been in it for 6 months. So I know it probably felt like you were in it for 4 years, but it's back to the upside. Revenue's great leadership. Like they'll be one of the most dominant companies over the next 10 to 15 years for sure.
Yes. And the last one that I want to talk about that went crazy today is SMH. I've been talking about SMH almost every week for the last year. And SMH was up $7 today. $263. Not far from its all-time high. SMH is the chip ETF that we like so much that has been done very well. I mentioned all of these because there's always at least one person every time it's like, well, what's next? What should I invest in? We just told we need the Kanye. And when Kanye was like, it's like, you think I just told you.
I just told you. Yeah. The ones that are hot now will be hot later. Like you guys don't need more.
Yes, this is something that is extreme. So we did IBB, we did CRM, we did SMH, we did, what else did I do? IBB, all of these different ones we've been talking about for a long time. They've been moving sideways. People have been, except for SMH, but most of them have been moving sideways. People have been frustrated. Even Microsoft. I heard people a couple months ago, like Microsoft doesn't even move. I'm like, I'm up like 180.
By what definition? And I'm gonna be real. People are buying them at the tops and then being mad. And then I'm like, I'll give you guys the prices. But if you're buying at a high, you have to wait for that period of when it recedes or recesses, and then it's going to go back up. Like if you guys ask for the prices, I'll give them to you. The only thing you have to do after that is execute. But Microsoft has been dominating. Like if you look at the beginning of this year, they were at 214, they're at 304.55.
Yeah, I own Microsoft stock and I have the option. I'm up like 158% on the option. That's why when it's like people like Microsoft doesn't move, I'm like, you want it to move like Dogecoin where it just goes up 1,000%. That's not realistic, but it's like, big business. This is one of my favorite quotes of all time. Only poor people think that 20% rate of return is nothing.
Yeah. Or some would rather actually blow up I posted that crate challenge. I'm like, you guys can trade until your accounts look like that, or you can get a safe 40. It's crazy because of the market cap of Microsoft, but Microsoft can give you a safe 40%. Like this is unheard of for a company of this side to give you a safe 40% to just let them borrow your money, and you are a co-owner of the company and you don't have to do anything else. For any of you that's worked in corporate for more than 10 years, do you primarily use Microsoft or another operating system? Please put it in chat. Because it's not only your company that's using it. Like some clues are so obvious that we don't have to. Same with Target. Like we talked about Target a ton last year. Target's been on a hell of a tear. The low of this year was 167.49. It's at 252. Like Target moved like a damn tech stock over the last year. Just invest in quality, and then we definitely won't steer you wrong.
Yes. So it's important to be patient, people. You have to practice patience. Like all of these things that we speak about, everything has its day. You just have to just wait it out. Q2, year over year growth. Some companies that was mentioned on Market Mondays, Moderna, 6,400%, Tesla, 98%, Shopify, 57%, Apple, 36%, the S&P 500, 21%, and Microsoft, speaking of Microsoft, 21%. Yeah.
That's a nice round list. So whenever we have, for a tip for you guys, so whenever we have a recession or like an economic disaster, whatever is the core cause of that, there's usually a company that's going to pitch to be able to fix it. So of course, I mean, I'll talk about it now because, you know, like most of it is over with. But like I have friends that worked at Lilly. That's why I never mentioned Lilly here last year. But Eli Lilly's a good company. Pfizer took off. Moderna's done amazing. But the price of Moderna, when we talked about it in Stock Club last year, was so cheap. Like it was in the 40s when most people got into it. So you knew that an industry was going to have an upward sweep. Take advantage of it. Like if there's ever, let's say, a broad or massive hack amongst all retail companies at one time, the one that Trap talked about, CrowdStrike, is probably going to go crazy. So whenever there's a problem, there's a company that is going to bid to fix that problem. And that's probably one of the companies that you should be looking to invest in as a simple investment strategy. A lot of it is common sense, but sometimes I know for those of us that are African-American or Latino, we think that because we didn't go to school for this, that we do not know what to do or what to invest in. But if you ever walked into Walmart or Kroger or Target or Best Buy, like you can see the traffic there, even with automation. Last few times I've been into the airport, every time I went to a convenience store, there was no one working there. No one working there. Like, and it's starting with small chains and now it's expanding out. Even with Amazon, we told you guys about how they were going to begin to buy Sears and JCPenney retail stores. And a lot of you were like, well, why would they do that when they killed retail? The plan is not to become the biggest retailer in that traditional sense. But what if, and for those of you in bigger cities, you've had it for a while, but some options now on Prime you can get in 4 or 5 hours. If they begin to buy up all the old JCPenney locations, what if they have to deliver via Prime or Prime Plus some of these items to you in 1 hour? Now, I don't know about for those of you that don't have kids. When you have kids, every little bit of time that you can save matters. Even if they charge $250 a month for it, $250 a year or $300 for it, it would be worth it for the convenience sake. So you have to be mindful. Any company that saves you time will save you money, or on top of that, if they are able to solve a really, really, really big problem, those are the companies that you need to look to invest in for the long term.
And to go back to the 20% comment, let's talk about this, because psychologically people was like, all right, if you have $1,000 to invest, right, and you're only getting 20%, now that's $200, right? So $200 isn't going to make or break the situation. Let me break this down, because I understand not having money. So you can't pull that card on somebody that knows it. You know what I'm saying? So this is a few things to say about that. A, what's your alternative? The alternative is either spend the money, right? So now you're going to lose 100%. You rather gain 20% or lose 100%. What are you going to do? Or gamble it in something that you're uneducated in, or literally gamble it, and you'll probably end up losing over the course of time anyway. So the short answer to that is, what is your alternative? It's better to earn 20% on a small amount than lose everything on a small amount, and then you'll always be broke for the rest of your life. Another thing, this is why Earn Your Leisure is really an educational platform that provides you with all kinds of resources. Investing is from the money that you should get. So it's not like the only thing you do in life is invest. So this is why we teach you about Toro, Airbnb, trucking, businesses, or even just
a bunch of streams of revenue. Yes.
Yes. Or just even personal finances of cut your budget, spend less money, eliminate credit card debt. These is all things like, it's like different books, right? So now the whole point is to increase revenue so that you have more money to invest, and it doesn't happen overnight. I wish we can just, provide you with a simple blueprint where it's like, okay, you're going to become a millionaire. Now you have $1 million to invest, but that's not how it works, ladies and gentlemen. So the key is to understand, build businesses, have different side hustles, have different revenue streams that come in. Now you invest $100 a month. That 100 turns into 200. That 200 turns into 500. You get to $1,000 a month that you're investing. You're putting money away. You build a pyramid one brick at a time. Too often, we got to stop feeling sorry for ourselves. Like, of course, we was dealt a bad hand, but we Black. You're gonna have a bad hand. Like that comes with it. So you either going to keep complaining and keep talking about what everybody is doing to you or what everybody has done to you, or you're going to do something for yourself. So we at Earn Your Leisure are strong believers in do for self. We will never complain about our circumstance, because what good is that going to do? We got to make the best of the situations that we have. And this is why we are here. So we have empathy, but we're not here for a pity party, and we're not here to feel sorry for ourselves. If you are here to feel sorry for yourself, this is not the place for you. Yeah.
And truth be told, if you get that easy 20%, like, let's be real, for those of us that are Black, because I can only speak to our aesthetic. If you get 25% or 35% return, how many of you would have family that would give you money if you were consistent? Here's what happens. You got a crazy ass, dope ass year in options, and you didn't want to hear the long-term investing. Ian don't know, man. He just holding out. He don't want nobody to get the bag. Now you've blown up 3 accounts. Auntie Betty don't want to give you any money because she don't want you putting them in synthetic derivatives, right? Now you hate me because it's like, here come Ian with this 2 tech, 2 index bullshit. I don't want to hear it, bro. I'm down 19,000. I didn't tell you to take 44 trades. I told you stop at 12. Didn't want to take 300 practice trades. Like, there's a reason I am telling you these things, because that is the real game. And often, even if it feels like I'm being too harsh, I'm doing it because these are the things that were told to me so late that if I got them at, shout out to Jerry, like if I'd have got them at 22, 23, 24, 25, man, I may be up 200, 300 million dollars. It's not given. So you then have to execute. But if you get a safe return, there are people that will give you money hand over fist, including me, but you have to be consistent.
Absolutely. Let's talk about some political stuff if we can. The Taliban. The Taliban, the longest war in American history. Man, that was a complete disaster, but that's a different story. So after occupying Afghanistan for 20 years, the Biden administration had made a choice to pull out. Within 12 hours of the announcement, the Taliban seized control of the country. And now they're in control. They're in control of the country. And so with that, there are rumors that China's always up to something
and everything.
China got their hands in everything. They're the real mob. China,
yes. Respectfully.
Yeah. China, there's rumors that China will be working hand in hand with the Taliban, the new Taliban government.
Allegedly. I want to be on the record. Allegedly.
I mean, it makes sense though if you really think about it, because the Taliban is seeking legitimacy. And they want to be, recognized. It's not in anybody's benefit for them to have embargoes and for them not to, be the black sheep of the world. So they want to clean up their image. They want to be embraced by the world. The second largest economy in the world is China. They already know that America is not going to be their friend. China's in the region. China controls the region. So it would make sense for them to make an alliance with China. And it would make sense for China to make an alliance with them, especially the bad blood between Afghanistan and America. So how you feel about this situation?
I'm going to listen to my grandmother. God bless her soul. Certain political issues I'm going to stay away from, but I'll touch on real quick. I hinted at it earlier this year. So if the United States is ghost, let's have a little power talk, right? Taliban is like Jimenez. Now, if China comes into the fold, that's Canaan. Now, what are we going to do if Putin decides to say, okay, now this is why I told you guys, if you have so when there was supposed to be the formation of the Amero, which never came into existence, but Bitcoin now became so popular, because I'm old enough to know and remember when like Big Brother was feared. Now we choose to hold Big Brother in our hand and go to sleep with it at night. The Amero was supposed to be the thing that was going to be the global currency. Didn't happen, then Bitcoin came. So if we all of a sudden have, because Bitcoin technically would be classified as a foreign currency, and if China and Taliban teams up, what is stopping Putin from joining forces to then take us out of the picture? To be honest, I don't know many American investors that are excited about an American company outside of Apple and Microsoft. I don't think that is a coincidence. I think that is very strategic. And if you were to take over a country, for those of you that were involved in other markets before market Mondays. The best way to do that is to affect the currency in which a country or a neighborhood deals with. So if the value of the dollar from 1950 is almost dead, but if Bitcoin takes off even more and there's a push to go towards that, and we come off, or the countries that run the oil regime decide to switch from our dollar to Bitcoin, that would drive it to zero. It would be very easy to take over our country, and it could be the death of a dynasty. So please be mindful when you invest in some of these assets that you're looking at the game inside of the game. But for clear, and I don't know for sure who owns Bitcoin, but let's say it's either Putin, and I put the post up a couple of weeks ago with Samsung and Toshiba, and right. But if foreign entities own the majority of Bitcoin as a group, and the world is traveling and saying, I want Bitcoin, what lasting effects will it have in terms of hurting us? And we're on the last leg anyway. Scary times. Do as you please, though.
It's important for Americans. One thing, traveling overseas, like especially going to Europe and stuff like that, you realize that when you watch like the BBC or like news overseas, it's a real world news. Like they tap in with everything. When you watch American, it's 99% American domestic. We're very ignorant to what's going on.
Opinion pieces, really. It's not much journalism anymore.
No, it's not. That's why I don't even. My mom watches MSNBC all day, and I'm like, this is just like gossip. Like all they do is just bash Republicans. Fox, all they do is just bash Democrats. There's no like balance.
Middle ground.
There's no balance, right? So I say that to say, not a lot of us are being informed of what's going on overseas. But why is it important to know what's going on overseas? For a variety of different standpoints. But since this is an educational show about investing, a lot of your investments are tied to overseas, especially Asia, especially China. So it's important to know what's going on in the region in all of these different places, because instability in the region, new regimes, new governments, all of that can affect your investments. So like I said, that's just one reason why you should be informed of what's going on with international affairs. Even bigger than that, I mean, just to be educated, you live in the world, so you should know what's going on in the world, and you should have because the news that we get is biased. So you can influence people through media, and you'd be surprised how easy it is to influence people through media. If you say it enough, it's just true. Doesn't necessarily have to be true, but it's true by default. So we believe things because we're told to believe things because that's what the media is reporting. Keep in mind, the media is only owned by a few companies, and they only are owned by a few people. So that's that Ian talk. I gotta stop now. I'm walking down that path. Oh man.
Stay away from that. Yep.
Yes. So let's talk about, speaking about that, 10 cent. 10 cent. The not 50 cents knockoff, but 10 cent, the company. So 50% of 10 cent shareholders profit go to Chinese national policy. Is that correct?
You guys can go look on Kyle Bass's. If you guys have read Money Master the Game, Chief Investment Officer of Heyman Capital, one of the greatest investors of all time. He posted about it last Friday. Once again, though, given we talked about it before, how China chooses to run their country. If you are number two and you want to become the preeminent leader in the world, what's one of the things that you could do to put the country first in a power position? Begin to take off more profits. Here, we let the entrepreneurs and the companies be the rulers of the land. China chooses to have the rulers be the ruler of the land. So if they begin to take profits from the companies, build their coffers, which you build a war chest for war. That's all I'm gonna say. So, because I don't want to go in this conspiracy theory lane, I'll leave that to Jones and everybody else. But if you can see the writing on the wall, if you're willing to sacrifice for 10 or 15 more years, and if we have bad leadership, maybe for 2 more administrations, Like, I don't know what happened to Jack Ma, but we can assume that he was on vacation for a little bit. We haven't heard him talk out. And then all of a sudden, there's a lot of things that began to happen in the Chinese stock market at one time, and companies that are in different sectors. That is a broader macro issue that had to be addressed. That's why when you guys kept asking, like, what do you think of Chinese companies? I'm like, unless the macroeconomic environment there is safe, you can't invest in soil that is not safe for you to do so. But from a national policy and foreign policy strategy perspective, I think is absolutely brilliant, but it may not pan out so well for us.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen.
Can we get like an air horn? What Joe do? He play outstanding. We need like some lighter music or something real quick. Shout out Joe and Corey. Like, we need to lighten the mood real quick. I just want to tell you guys.
Yes, you get a little bit.
Our biggest competitive threat is China. And for those of you that have ever traveled to Abu Dhabi, Dubai, Japan, Korea, China, you know they are way ahead of us already. They've been ahead of us for decades. So that's that.
There you have it. Market Mondays. You get a little bit of everything on Market Mondays. You get investment talk, you get relationship talk, you get political talk. It's a very well-rounded show, if I do say so.
Talk about reptilians like this too.
And shout out to MSNBC. I have no hard feelings. I like MSNBC. Yeah, I'm just saying, it's just slightly biased. That's all. Okay, so Janet, we are going to go into questions, but before we go into questions, I have to make an announcement. We are going to Egypt. November 4th through November 9th. We announced it yesterday. We are taking 20 people with us, and it is a 6-day tour of Egypt. And we will be going to Cairo, to Luxor, the pyramids at Giza, the Great Sphinx, hot air balloon, ATV, Valley of the Kings, the temple. It will actually be doing a live podcast out there as well. So, and a lot of our friends, I believe, are going to be joining us.
Man, that crystal ball going to be glowing out there.
So if you want to hang out, if you want to hang out with us in Egypt for a week, go to onelovetravel.club on Instagram, their bio. And yeah, all of the information is in there. We teamed up with them, a Black-owned travel company. Shout out to them. Yeah, they reached out. I liked what they put together. So yeah, One Love, the ONE, the word onelovetravel.club. That's their Instagram handle. You can go to their Instagram, click the link in their bio, and all the information is there. So like I said, yeah, that probably will be, going pretty soon because it's an intimate situation. So if you're interested, it's my first trip to Africa.
Yeah.
First trip to Africa. I'm extremely excited. It's long overdue. And, I want to go to a lot of different places in Africa, of course, South Africa, Ghana, Kenya, all of that. But yeah. Egypt is one of these things where it's, it's Egypt, baby. It's Egypt, man, probably the most, historical place in the world. Such a long history. And I'm a history lover. So it's something that I'm definitely looking forward to. So yeah, that's something that I definitely wanted to let you guys know about.
Red Panda family, let's squad up and go. Because if I don't come back and y'all don't see us on Market Mondays no more, I done got the 9th Infinity Stone. Better go. I'm letting you know. I've posted about pyramids but even with that, the power manifestation, like because I went to Chichen Itza and learned some great secrets there, and I was like, man, I want to go to Egypt. Text me like an hour later, like, yo, we go. I'm like, have to go. Like, and I'll tell you guys this that are trying to manifest stuff. When you are asking for what you want to receive, be incredibly specific. So if you like, I want $1 million in a year, say you want $1 million while being healthy, while being happy, while keeping your friendships, while your children are safe, while not getting into any drama. Because I've known some people that have manifested some big amounts of money and every other part of their lives have fallen apart. Like, be very mindful of what you ask for. But now I'm excited about the Egypt trip.
Yeah. So I pinned it in YouTube. If you guys are interested, the link is pinned in YouTube. Janet, can we get some questions?
Yes, let's do it. The earners are ready. Macintosh D, we are going to you first. Unmute yourself, please.
Hello, guys. Can y'all hear me?
Yes. How are you?
Macintosh, what's going on, brother?
I'm fine. How y'all doing?
I'm good. Good to hear your voice.
All right. The question I have is for both of you guys. When y'all started investing, what is one thing that keep y'all motivated and not give up?
Oh, I gave up when I first started. Let me be real with you. I gave up. Like I was the same with kudos to my guy Art. Like, man, I hit 2 easy wins. Thought I knew everything. Everybody who's trading knows the story. Next 8 trades was terrible. Oh, but man, this is scam. The scam was me not doing what I was supposed to do and not being disciplined. What brought me back to it is not wanting to depend on anybody. I mean, I've told the story 1,000 times about the lady who took the 80,000 who didn't pay me that. But it ended up being a blessing because I never wanted to be in a position where someone could tell me how to take care of my child. So that's when I was like, okay, great, let me go all in. There's something there. And also too, like when I went through the Forbes 400, because I love marketing, like love marketing and advertising is like my thing. But when I looked at the list of like Forbes 400, because I'm doing deductive reasoning, Sir Martin Sorrell is the only one that owns WPP, and WPP owns everything. He's like the Lucian Grange of advertising. He was the only one at the time on a billionaires list. When I looked at financial services and hedge funds, there were people I never heard of that accidentally made like 2.2 billion. I'm like, I need to go play in this playground because I'll do better. So a little bit of deductive reasoning. I wanted to have freedom is what brought me back over here. But in the beginning, like everyone else, I quit too because I thought it was too hard. And because there was no one who looked like us that made it easy to understand. And also too, we have to be real. In the early 2000s and mid 2000s, even in our community, people kept secrets. Like now I get a lot of people like, hey, I should have told you about this 10 years ago. I'm like, I wish you would have. And that's why we do the show every week. But in the early 2000s, or for those of you who started in the late 90s, it was hard as hell to understand investing because every test that you did, you had to put up your money. You couldn't really even paper trade back in the day. But so for those of you that have quit, just get back on the saddle and you'll have your moment. But I think you have to hit a rock bottom before you say, I'm going to go all in on this. I see a lot of people dabbling because the work is going kind of good or business is going kind of good and they're not hurting. And I don't want you guys to hit rock bottom, but often that's what it takes for you to be like, I'm going to burn every bridge behind me to be able to get this down. Rashad, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, for me, what encouraged me to continue was I always knew like there was really no alternative to grow wealth because, you know, I've been like infatuated with the stock market since I was 12 years old. Like I think I told the story a few times, but I always was in love with the stock market and I understood the power of investing at a very young age. So
you saw Trading Places, or what movie inspired you?
Barbarians at the Gate.
Okay.
Wall Street.
Wall Street, yeah.
It was a few movies that really like, you know, I just was really just, to me, it was just way more exciting. It's crazy looking back on it now, but watching like Gordon Gekko was more exciting than like watching, you know, somebody in the NBA because it was like we knew the people in the NBA, like that's all you saw all day. But to see somebody like that was getting that kind more money and he didn't have to play basketball and he had like a suit on, a pinstripe suit, and he had a chauffeur, and it was just like just dope how they portrayed it to me. I was like, I want to be a businessman, like, you know what I mean, like just the business, just that just seemed like something that was just like on next level. So I always knew that in order to get to that kind of level, you really couldn't work your way there. You have to invest. I understood that. So that was something that just really encouraged me early on. Even when I took losses, it was like I took a loss because it was my fault. When anything that happens in your life, you got to take responsibility for. That's a major key. So, you know, when I lost money in any investment, it's because I wasn't properly educated. I took gambles, and it was a learning experience. So I learned from that and educated myself and came back and, you know, realized that, you know, there's no other alternative to building wealth as opposed to just getting income, building a business, and investing. Only way. You got to do it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for your question, Macintosh. Next we
Janet,
have.
but before you go, my apologies. I want to issue a public apology for not showing up. I was hanging with Xander, but I do want to apologize for not being there.
No, I know you mentioned you were with your son, so no worries. And we had a really great conversation. And
I missed it.
No, it's okay. I mean, a lot of the topics you guys talked about today, we covered at book club. We talked about AI and world history. So it was really good follow up. So thank you for that.
I'll be at the next one.
Awesome. Next, we have Jerry Ingram Jr. unmute yourself, please. We're coming
My
to you.
guy.
Yo, what up?
My
Good,
guy
bro.
with that deep voice and the greatest questions of all time.
Oh man, I mean I try. But my question is in preparation for InvestFest, with me being so young and not really being established in like a specific field, how do I go about bringing value to established professionals at InvestFest?
Can I answer that question, Ian?
Yeah, take it.
So one of the things, that's a great question, is like networking. People are afraid to network up. I spoke about this on my call on Saturday. Shout out to Ian for jumping on the call with me on EY University. A lot of time we're comfortable speaking to the people like next to us, but we're not comfortable speaking to the people like up. And one of the reasons why we're not comfortable networking up is that we don't feel like we can add value, right? It's like, okay, this person is successful. This person has a lot of money. I'm on to come up. I can't offer this person any value. That's not necessarily true, because there's a variety of different things that you might be able to do for somebody that you don't realize. So one thing is connections. So you'd be surprised, like there's always at least one person, especially locally. That's why it's important to make sure you network with the people locally. You might have a relationship with somebody who, you grew up, they're your teacher or your godfather or whatever, and they might be a good person for that person to meet. So you might be 18, 19 years old with no money. The person you try and network with might be 50 with millions of dollars. Now, your godfather might be, a CPA that's really, really dope and deals at high level, right? You might be able to connect the CPA with the person. So it's not like you're not connected, but now you're the manager of that relationship. So you've added value by connecting it. That's one way. Another way is to like what Ian does all the time is to say, like, how can I help? That's the first thing that you should actually ask somebody, as opposed most people ask, like, can you help me? Like they'll hit you in the DM like, Ian, can I get a scholarship? Can I do this? Can I do that? That's really more of a form of charity, and you can only do so much charity in a day. But when you say, how can I be of help? That changes the whole dynamic. So that's another thing. And then also listen. This is extremely important when you're in networking events. If you come into InvestFest and you're around people, you cannot network by talking only. The best way to network is to listen, because if you're only talking, you're not listening to what the person is saying, and you're not going to know how you can be of value. So introduce yourself to somebody, ask them what they do, like interview them, right? People love to talk about themselves. As they're talking and they're explaining their situation to you, then you should be brainstorming on how you can help them. Focus on value. I say this all the time, but the person that really comes to mind in doing this is MG, the mortgage guy, my brother Matt. Matt met me. He never asked me for anything. For over a year, our relationship was based on, how can I help you? He was focused on helping me. In return, we have a relationship. He did the same thing with DJ Envy. He reached out to DJ Envy and said, I want to be a sponsor on your tour. He didn't ask them to be on a tour. He said, how can I be a sponsor? Send me an invoice. He paid money to be a sponsor. He developed a relationship. Then he started speaking. Now they got a really good relationship, right? So these are things of like, how
he
can
does
I
it with
help?
everybody. I mean, to cut you off, this, like, even when I was out there, he was like, yo, I would have picked you up and took you to the barbershop. And I'm gonna take you to this piece. I'm like, bro, you don't have to do all, you got a family. Like, Matt does that with, like, when we went to Atlanta, me and Xander came in late, his wife flagged me down, just talk, like, giving first helps. So that's why Matt be like, yo, I need anything. Even when, if I be tripping, like, Matt's one of the few people, he'll be like, yo, B, you tripping. Like, you need to, I'm all right. Because I know he's coming from a place of love. Like, if you just help first, a lot, we do it here. This is why, to be real, this is why I give the picks out for free. You guys be like, oh, Stock Club costs too much. Stock Club, put yes in chat if I've mentioned the same ones in Stock Club and our prices. Let me pay it forward. If I give it for free, you don't value it, you won't execute. That's on you. They know that shit fire. You have to give first. Give first.
With no expectation.
Yes.
That's another thing. Don't give with an expectation, because you don't know how you'll be rewarded. It's not up to you. It's not up to you to receive the reward. It's up to you just to give. And then, the law of reciprocity, it'll come back to you. But
Yeah.
that's a major key in networking.
Jerry, I think you established. I mean, we talked about it on the last club call. I think you just have to pick. I think you have to fearlessly pick what field you want to go to and don't care what anyone else will say. But I wrote some stuff down for you. I need you to pick 5 people that are going to be there and decide what you can do for them and go up to them and tell them. For everyone else, take 3 ideas that you can do for someone and do it for them and present it. So like the thing he said about, even I'm surprised at the number of you who don't even ask me, hey, can I work with you? And you have a skill set. A lot of it is just, even with Market Mondays, I saw Rashad put a post. He's like, yo, I'm thinking about doing other. I was like, yo, hey, before anybody else get it. Because my thing was like, I thought Trap was already going to do something. So I'm like, but you have to ask. Great. I'm like, let me do my part. I'll do the presentations. You don't have to do nothing. Just you and Troy show up, be happy. I'll be grumpy and get us fired. Perfect marriage, right? Pick 3 ideas that you can do for people and execute them. And then most importantly, I talked about this on a call Saturday, be reliable. It may take a while for it to click, but if you are an app developer, a designer, shout out to Burke, like this thing I asked Saturday, there's not been one time when I've asked Burke to do a flyer, a graphic that he has not delivered. And he's working on like Netflix and like the Kim Kardashian poster that you see on Netflix. He made that. I'll be like, yo, can you make this fly? It'd be 2:00 in the morning. I get it to you in 2 hours. Send him the money. He'll send the money back. I'm like, no. Like his reliability is the reason why he keeps being able to work with all these brands. So like kudos to him. Like reliability is so key. But if you pick 3 ideas that you can do for a person, and if I was really trying to get on, if it was me, I would go to every speaker, or I would have an idea for me, Rashad, Troy, Trap, 19 Keys, Neo, Jagged Edge, everybody there, and give it to him. Hey, brother, here's the envelope. These 3 things you need to do, and I already did them. Go to the site, download it, and have your team put them in place. Somebody's going to call you back and give you more work. But got to get first.
Never discount the value of in-person experience. I talk about Matt all the time, but another person I talk about all the time is Wall Street Trapper, because it's ironic, 2 years ago, the other day, I put a post up yesterday. I met him 2 years ago in Houston. Wall Street Trapper. That's a perfect example. He came up to me. He flew in from New Orleans to Houston, met us at a networking event that we had in Houston, and introduced himself to me, hand to hand, face to face.
Yeah.
And the rest is history. His life has never been the same since. That's a fact.
Yeah. If you have good energy like he does, it's hard to be around Trap and be mad and also not be inspired.
Yeah.
Like, even when we was in Tulsa, like you guys see, I'll be embracing Trap like we just won game 6. Because he was so solid. When I came on the platform, he never was funny. Bro, post this amount of times per day, get this book. These are the traps you're going to go into. You're going to get hate around this time. When you get to 20,000 followers, you got to deal with, like, he gave me a roadmap. That's why I'm like, Trap, and I'll be begging him still. Like, bro, you should come on every month. Nah, bro, I'm good. I'm like, why not? I want you to be on here. Give first. I'm telling you, that is the core of, for all of you, if you're making less than $200,000 or $300,000 a year in your business, or you're less than $1 million per year gross in your business, I guarantee you're not reaching out to 1,000 people per year to ask them to do something for free. That is where I'm just doing it at scale. You got to take all the criticism that comes with it, because even when I was like, yo, 63 days, he don't know nothing about crypto. He don't. Mike Novogratz came on the staff. Give first. If I made you money, put yes in chat, and you're not a stock club. Watch this. The value chain. How many episodes y'all put out of EYL before, like up to this moment?
EYL?
Yeah.
Right now, 147, 46.
So the entire network in aggregate probably has 500 episodes?
Yeah. Probably, yeah.
That's the equation. Give.
Yeah. All free. And the last thing I'll say about that, once again, the face-to-face is nothing like this face-to-face interaction.
Yes.
One of the things that really helped us, the first celebrity interview that we did was with DJ Envy. And, DJ Envy, we had been in communications with him through Matt, and he said he was going to do it. But you know how that go. Like, it's kind of like tough. You got to catch people in traffic. So shout out to the good folks at Dykeman. They had opened up a new Foot Locker, and we knew that he was DJing. And I couldn't make it. And I told Troy, like, yo, Troy, you gotta go, man. You gotta meet him.
Yeah.
Long story short, Troy went to Foot Locker uptown, met him.
Mhm.
He was like, oh, yeah, I want to do the show. And a week later, we got the interview done. Rest is history. So,
and honestly, that's one thing I learned from you guys too, because I mean, when COVID first hit, I was scared. I'm like, I ain't going outside. But when we did the Atlanta meetup, like the reception was so crazy. I was like, damn, like I really that's why I took so much time to talk to every person. I think we was in there like 4 hours. Like I didn't even get to talk to you and Troy until like an hour and a half once I was there. But that in-person time you cannot replace with online activity. I don't care how many funnels you have, how many webinars you run. Like people, I'm gonna be real. For those of you that met me in Atlanta, if you had doubts about me after you met me, you like, no, he living that shit he talk. There's something when you can feel a person's spirit, and shout out to like the young boys who was there, who was like into trading and investing, and they were like going down that rabbit hole. I'm like, man, I wish I was there at 23. Like people want to feel your energy to see if you. It's one of the things like when first time I met Jeezy, first time I met Gary V, like you can tell that they're living it. Like if you're from a certain environment, when people are faking the verse, even like when we first did episode 70, he's like, yeah, I see you got the suit on, but like once we got into the content, shout out to the guy who came in with the
Spike Lee, the Spike Lee.
Anyway, but it's one thing for people to talk, because everyone puts on a show a best version of themselves, but like, are you talking about it and living it day in and day out? People need to, in that spirit or sense of like discernment that people have, they need to be able to feel you. So you may have a good idea, but they may not believe you. But if they get around you, they may have a different feeling about you, especially for those of you who come from a certain walk of life that can read people very well. That may make all the difference for you. So
there you have it. Janet, let's get a few more questions if we can.
All right. So next we have Pearson Wheatley. Unmute yourself. We're coming to you.
Oh shit, another question legend.
What's
going on, bro?
Hey, happy Mondays. I got a quick question. And after the question, I was wondering if I could break down my logic for the reason why I asked the question.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. So the question is, if the expansionary policy with the $1 trillion infrastructure bill that President Biden is planning on trying to get passed, I wanted to know what would it do to the short run aggregate supply curve within the next 2 to 5 years. Now, the reason I asked this question is because, bear with me. So on the aggregate demand supply curve, you got 3 curves: the short run supply curve, the long run aggregate supply curve, and the aggregate demand curve. Coming from the school of thought of the Keynesian economics, you know that the aggregate demand curve, it will shift to the right because it's using expansionary fiscal policy. The things that make up that particular policy, well, the demand curve is C plus I plus G plus NX. C is consumption, I is investment, G is government spending, and NX is net exports. So the government spending with the expansionary policy will cause that to shift to the right, which is shifting outward. The thing I'm trying to figure out is the short run aggregate supply curve, because that's basically the curve that is explaining the trade-off between price level and inflation.
Can I give you an honest answer?
Always. This guy, man, this guy is crazy, man.
Pearson, amazing. I'm gonna be real. You got me stumped. This is the first question in the history of the show in which I've been stumped. I'll have an answer for you next week. But your level of research, well, I know Jerry want to have a versus battle, so we got to get a question versus battle between y'all.
Nah, Jerry the man, he got it.
No, y'all are dope, but like the level of detail and the research, I haven't been stumped in a long time. You got me stumped on a clear answer on the spot, so I'll have one for you next week. That's the hard truth. I don't know.
Ian, I have an answer for you. I will not have an answer for you. I'm not going to. Everybody knows, man. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it. But I appreciate your level of intelligence. You really take a lot of time in thinking about these very complex situations. You should definitely be like in a government. I feel like you should be in charge of fiscal policy, because most people do not have the attention span for that. But
can we ask him what his goal is real quick? And what I think what he's trying to extrapolate to see what the correlation is, like the same way I look at the yield curve, but he's just taking it a couple levels deeper.
So my goal is so I study it's 4 school of economic thoughts. So it's the real business cycle, Austrian economics, monetarism, and Keynesian. So when I was studying it, if you break down to each school of thought, so in March 2020, when the government gave the stimulus, it boosted a lot of people's wealth. But if you study the Austrian economics, then you know that they don't necessarily like government involvement because it creates a wealth gap. So with the real business cycle economics, it's starting a boom and bust. So it's going to boom and then it's going to bust. And that's where you get the Great Depression from if you're looking at those 4 school of thoughts. Mind you, those the 4s that I study, but there's more like Chicago neoclassical. A famous Chicago school of economic thoughts is Thomas Sowell. I want to read his book, Familiarities and Disparities. So I'll get on that later on.
But if you put Benner cycle with Schumter, you'll understand the timing. Like your thought process and thesis is absolutely right. The wealth gap thing, that's true. That's the other downside of quantitative easing. But the way that you're thinking is correct. I just don't want to bullshit you and give you an answer. And it's not true. I
understand.
What's your Instagram?
I don't have no social media, man.
You don't have social
media. My guy, you're the smartest person I ever heard. Keep it that way.
My neighborhood told me, like when I was growing up, there was a lot of people is alive, but a lot of them is not living. If you don't know the difference, you might be one of them. So that's how I was taught.
Jerry versus Pierce's question battle gonna be insane.
There you have it, man.
This is a great question. But that's an example of giving value. Nikki, Mike, clip that up, please. Yes. It's a great question.
Yeah.
If this how diplomats felt when Jada was going crazy. Y'all ain't got no girl joints. Oh my God.
Did you see Cameron's post that he did the day after?
What did he say?
It was like that meme where like the guy came out like he was like,
oh yeah, man. Like, that's a different kind of pressure.
He's like, well, okay then. Wasn't expecting that one.
No, that's different. Pearson, job well done.
Yes, Pearson. Shout out to Pearson, man. We got some of the brightest minds at EYL University. He is a extremely bright young man. Very, very.
Yeah, Pearson, put your top 3 books in a chat as well, so we can do some digging. My man, like he double cross, tween, step back, cross.
He's like, so the inverted Greek yield curve on the astronomical data, and then the Swiss.
If this is your first episode, I don't get stumped. So
yeah, I know. I got 80. I know I got ADD. Once he started saying curve, I started thinking about roller coasters. And then he went in with the Swiss and all of that and the monetary fiscal policy.
That man hit me with 2 step backs, 2 crossovers, and a windmill.
Tap out, man. It's like UFC. Tap out. Janet, could we get one more question, please?
All right, let's go to Lou Rivera. Unmute yourself, please.
Lou, how are you?
Hey guys, I'm well. How are you?
Good. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. Just give you guys flowers to begin. I've been at EYL a year now. What you guys are doing for the culture and Black and brown people cannot be overstated. You guys are phenomenal. What you guys are doing is, I just can't even put into words. I thank you for taking the time and doing all that you do for everybody here.
Appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
Yeah. My question isn't as deep as Jerry.
Jerry and Pearson different. Yeah.
Although Pearson's, I just want to add one thing to Pearson, if I can. When I was listening to your question, the one thing that I did take away from is that as we're getting out of Afghanistan and, war, with war is usually means money and bonds, what that might have effect in terms of his equation when he's talking about the government. So that's just a quick,
As a result, you think the bond market will shoot up? Is that what you're saying?
Well, they're buying bonds every month, right? 120 billion, 140 billion. They have interest rates at a certain percentage right now. there's going to be some correlation between the two, in my opinion. I just don't know what it is. I would think that the bond rate would increase a bit, because in the first time in 2008, when we had the same issue going on and they started buying bonds, the one thing that I don't remember his name. He's the Minnesota chair Fed. He used to work for Karkashi. I forget his name. He said that what they learned then was how to trade long-term bonds later on. So this isn't their first rodeo. They learned from the first time. So that's just my quick
job well done.
Thesis on that. In terms of my question, the simple question, it'll be pretty simple for you, man. Currently, I'm liquidating my positions in the stock market because I have what you guys have mentioned before, 25, 30 different, I'm all over the place, but I'm diversified, and I want to get down to your thesis in terms of, two tech, two ETFs. I may do 4 and 4, but I'm trying to figure that out yet.
Yeah, 8 max is good.
My question is, so not in terms of actual money, percentage wise, how do I draw down, and then how do I invest it moving forward? So
which ones are you in that you're thinking of cutting?
Oh man, I mean, I'm getting out of all kinds of stuff. I got out of like stupid stuff, MSG. I've gotten out of I almost got out of PayPal today, but I held off.
Why? Don't sell PayPal.
Yeah, why you getting out of PayPal? Why you getting out of PayPal?
Yeah.
Well, because I'm trying to get down to just the two.
Okay,
you trying to skim the position?
Okay, I'll tell you this.
I'm trying to go from like 28 to like 8.
If you have 27 killers, though, this is smarter. You got to keep, you got to keep PayPal. Like, if it gets back to 24, 34, you can add to it, but hold on to PayPal. Like, what other ones do you have?
I'm in Tesla and Amazon, small, but it's long term. I'm not getting out of those. Those are like my legacy ones.
Okay.
I'm into Apple.
Keep that.
Yeah, I'm keeping that. Man, if I don't have my account open right now.
Which ones are losing you money? You can get rid of James Dolan, anything he does right now.
Yeah, I know. He pissed me off. I'm done with him. I have a few of the ETFs, like I buy a bunch of other stuff. I'm thinking about getting rid of those things so that we have some more resources to kind of put into something.
You trying to free up cash?
Yeah, I just want to get down to like that
manageable amount.
8.
Yeah.
You guys made a great point. I can't keep track of 28 different companies.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's tough. I'm all over the place. I'm bouncing back and forth. One day PayPal's doing great. The next day I have another one that's doing horrible. It's like, what am I doing? I'm just trying to concentrate on just 6 to 8, keep my focus on that and grow from there.
You have kids?
Yes.
This is the easiest thing to do. If your child's life was on the line, would you invest in that company for the next 10 years? It's real easy to cut after that.
No matter what age the kid is?
I know school just started back and you stressed. Brother, if you need some therapy, or I can get you a massage and gift card. You all right?
I'm good.
How old a kid?
20.
Yeah, I was really stupid at 20. Shout out to my mom and dad. I'm sorry I didn't take out the garbage. You told me to. You can throw the food on the floor. I eat off the floor. Yeah, kids are that crazy. But yes, if you don't want them to die and meet their maker soon, I would pick. I would probably let go of iBuy. I think iBuy is good, but if you're trying to get down to 8, I would probably free up some of that capital. But if you want to shoot me an email, ian@joinredpanda.com, and just put your name in all caps. Send me the ones you're in. I can do like the 8 that I would invest in.
Okay.
Help you out.
Yeah, I was definitely going to say iBuy probably something that you can let go. Things of that nature. You don't want to let go of like the FANG stocks. Definitely don't want to let go of like those Apple, Microsoft, things of that nature. Netflix, Google. But you got like some, a couple ETF that you're not really too sure about, and stuff like. Not to say that iBuy is bad, but I don't think that that's something that's like the core part of your portfolio. So you can definitely probably let go of that.
Yeah, definitely. So you said Ian@redpanda.com.
Ian@joinredpanda.com.
At Join Red Panda. Okay, got it.
Yes.
I appreciate you guys very much. By the way, it was fire on Saturday. Listen to the financial planning call and yesterday's call with the going over the documentary, The Ascent of Money. Phenomenal. You guys are doing great. Just want to let you guys know that what you're doing is phenomenal.
Appreciate you, brother. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Somebody gonna clip it up. Ian ass don't know nothing. He asked about one curve and he don't know. I can't wait. Somebody gonna have it up. One of them forex traders. Forex traders, stop being mad at me from episode 70. I love y'all. I want truth. I want no smoke. I want everybody to get along, get the bag. Namaste. And best fest on the 29th. Long-term swing, big trade, everything. Right. I'm learning.
Yeah.
You got to be likable.
It's very, very important. It's very important. Usain Bolt told us that. Very important to be likable out here. Oh man, it's been a glorious Market Mondays as always.
My likability score like 37. I'm gonna get up to like 70 by next year.
No, I think the people have really grown to like you. You've become a very likable character. Yeah, you become a very likable.
Asking his help. I'll tell you, like the less things that I consume. I mean, I already didn't eat meat, but like it has had a shout out to Ken. Like Ken has had a tremendous impact on my life. Like I've been a lot chiller, a lot calmer. I was hungry as hell earlier today.
Shout out to Ken. God morning. That's every 7 o'clock. God morning. God morning.
Man, every day. Ken probably the most consistent and never wants anything. I'm like, bro, no. We we're gonna build a brick by brick time. I'm like, bro, let me help you, man. So yeah, the one of the key takeaways on the business side and just for life, like the people that I've highlighted and these stories that I highlighted, Ken, Matt, Troy, like just be kind. And I can be gruff too and be in my little DMX bag and shit. Like that's not the way. I'm telling you. So
yeah,
it's better to be kind.
It's better to be a diplomat. Before I forget, hit the like button, please, ladies and gentlemen. That would definitely help. Please hit the like button. And yeah, before we leave, I just wanted to talk about InvestFest again. This will be the last time that we get a chance to speak about it live. So, Ian, I heard that you've been working on your presentation for weeks. Is that true?
Man, don't leave while you're hot. That's how May screwed up.
That's a fact.
I'm telling you. This one probably, this is no hype. Like probably the best presentation I've ever done. If you guys like the Mark Cuban episode, it's gonna be like that probably times 4. And it's unadulterated like truth about how to build a portfolio that cannot lose. I'm actually gonna give you guys like my actual strategy. I'm not gonna give you the crystal ball, but like the actual strategy behind the hedge fund and Athena and all that. So it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
It's gonna be legendary, ladies and gentlemen. There is some few tickets left before it's over. Friday night VIP. We are interviewing Les Brown. That's gonna be legendary. Neo will be performing and he will be unveiling his NFT, and Jagged Edge will be performing as well. We will have a networking event. A bunch of our friends, a lot of alumni will be in the building. Saturday, of course, we got the legendary Wall Street Trap. Actually, let me just run this down. So
yeah, run it down. So
let me run this down, man, because everybody's always asking like, what's the itinerary and all of that, and we're still adding some last minute pieces to this. But Saturday we're going to start with estate planning and taxes and financial planning with Ms. Business, Sabine, and Ash Cash. Wall Street Trapper will be giving his keynote address. Then we're going to have the lunch break. Then we're going to have the crypto panel and investing panel with Hill Harper and Ryan Leslie. That's going to be crazy.
I'm going to tell y'all right now, do not miss that. That's all I'm going to say, because I want to say it, but do not miss that.
Yes. Saturday also we have the real estate panel with Max Maxwell, Chris Senegal, Cesar Pena, hosted by MG the Mortgage Guy. And then we have the venture capital panel with John Henry, Kwame Anku. We might be adding somebody else to that panel as well. John Henry got a surprise that he wants to talk about. He's doing his thing. He's making
John
history.
Serious. Shout out to my guy.
Yeah. Then we got building investment platforms and another investing platform panel with my boy Francis from Cheat Code, Mike Sims. Mike Sims is a Black hedge fund. He would be a good person for you to meet, Ian. The guy's worth over hundreds of millions of dollars. He's based in Atlanta. He has a hedge fund, and he does a lot of alternative investments. He does crypto. He does some forex. He does a lot of stuff. So Mike Sims, very, very, very interesting guy. So that is that. Saturday we have an after party. We have a party Just make sure that you can wake up on Sunday. Very important. And then Sunday, we have investing for your children with Jatalia, my boy Lenny, Ash Cash. Then Ian will be giving his keynote address. Then we have, this is a panel I'm really excited for, music, health, crypto, and culture with Jim Jones, Styles P, 19 Keys, and Kenny Burns.
Oh, Kenny sliding through. Kenny, a whole legend too.
Yeah,
you don't get enough credit.
That's my dog. That's my dog. Real estate panel with DJ Envy, Julian Gordon, Kiana Watson, hosted by MG the Mortgage Guy. 5 to 6 is still open. We're working on something special for that. Then we have the New Age Entrepreneurship panel. This should be interesting. Kizia, Ronnie Brown, Paula McCartney, who owns the water plant, and none other than Derek Grace, hosted by David Shands. So that's going to be interesting. And then we have a performance by the legendary Fabulous to end out that night. And in between the whole situation, we have the vendor marketplace. I think over 220 vendors with different booths. Ian will have a booth. 19 Keys.
Get there early. It's going to sell out fast.
The EYL merch booth will be popping. Assets over liabilities. We will have the whole merch there. And then we have the food trucks outside, of course. It's a monumental situation. So
can you give him that gem that you talked about with Dave real quick when we wrap up about consistency?
Oh, consistency. Yeah. So I was on live with Dave Shands yesterday. Shout out to Dave Shands. He's on EYL Network. He has one of the top business podcasts in the world, Social Proof Podcast. Make sure you check it out. So he was asking me what is the big deal? Like what separates a failing podcast from a successful podcast? And I told him that I think consistency is the biggest thing. And that's not just podcasting, that's just anything, but consistency. And I used him as an example because when we met Dave Shands, me and Troy, he had a podcast. He had a podcast before we had a podcast, but his podcast wasn't really taking off. It wasn't really successful, what you would call successful. He was having trouble with it. And I remember Troy asked him, well, how often are you doing your podcast? And he was like, I do it once every couple of weeks, once a month, 2 times a month. It really depends. And he told him, like, I think the biggest thing that you're lacking right now is consistency. You have talent, you actually, have a good, rapport about you, but you are not consistent. And he took that and now he does 2 podcasts actually every week. And the rest is history. So consistency, extremely, extremely important. And I missed one thing. COVID. We are taking special precautions for COVID. We ordered 8,000 masks. So everybody that comes in every single day will be given a mask. We will strongly encourage everybody to wear a mask. All staff will have masks on. We have hand sanitizer stations throughout the event. We have the chairs distance according to state regulation. So we are definitely taking all proper precautions needed. And we are in compliance with the state of Georgia and the city of Atlanta. And COVID is something that's not going away. It looks like anytime soon. So, we just have to live with it, but we have to be safe with it. So life goes on, but we still have to be responsible. So we are definitely being responsible with that. We do not take it lightly and we do not want to be irresponsible. So yes, COVID. Yeah. Yes, we are.
And when I see you guys, I'm gonna have on gloves like Michael Jackson when he comes on the blanket. You know what I mean? I'm gonna have on a Bane mask. I'm not being brand new. I'm just let you know. We're gonna elbow it up real quick. Hey,
Mike was the first one to wear a mask.
Man, he was way ahead of the curve.
In Paris, he had that years ago, and they thought he was crazy. He had a surgical mask on. Before we leave, this episode of Market Mondays is brought to you by Ally Financial. Ally is an option if you are looking to bank or invest. Ally Financial is a leading digital financial services company with passionate customer service and innovative financial solutions. They are relentlessly focused on doing it right and being a trusted financial service provider to both customers and communities. Get with Ally and make the most of your money so you can save, invest, spend on the things that matter to you. Shout out to Ally.
Absolutely.
And
if they ever get to 37-27.
Oh, baby.
Oh, baby.
Oh, baby. So yeah, man. I am looking forward to seeing everybody this weekend. Ian, Trap, all of the guys. It's always good when we get to link up in person.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to be in Atlanta tomorrow. I'm going to Atlanta tomorrow. So shout out to Atlanta. It's like a second home for us. We have been embraced by the city of Atlanta. So much love in Atlanta. We really, really appreciate the city of Atlanta. So shout out to everybody in Atlanta. And yeah, once again, Troy did not get kidnapped on some Jack Marsha.
Yeah. No band breaking up. No.
Or some Jack Ma.
Man.
Oh man. But yes, he'll be back. So yes, thank you guys for rocking with us. Ian, would you like to leave them with the last word?
You did great on the tech. And no nervousness this time, boy. You guru on the board. You learning.
Yo, man, when you gotta do something, you gotta do it.
Yeah, you gotta learn how to do it.
That's like the Navy. I think it was the Navy or one of these Army, whatever. They drop you in the water, and it's like
SEAL training. Yeah.
Yeah. What if you don't know how to swim? Well, you're gonna learn.
You gotta learn on the fly.
If you don't learn, you're gonna die. So yeah. that's the best way to go about it. Sometimes we all have to do things in life that we're not comfortable with. We all have to learn on the fly, but the best way to do it is just to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys go call somebody you love. Red Panda Family Stock Club call will be tomorrow in preparation for InvestFest, because I really want to put on the show. But yeah, be consistent. For those of you that are coming to InvestFest, if you feel like you've been looked over and you need your breakout moment, use this to network to help the most. I'm telling you, okay, me personally, I'm coming with 10,000 business cards. Me personally, I'm telling you, network your ass off from the connections you make. If you help, you probably out of this is not for me to sell tickets. I'm just being real. Out of this conference, you can probably make $1 million to $2.5 million in 12 months if you connect with 500 or 600 people and be like, hey, let me help you. And you're going to see me do it. Like, I'm going to go up to 19 keys, get the gold water. I'm going to pay for it. My bad. I missed your phone call, bro. I'm going to pay for the package. I'm going to hand them a card. Let me help give entry. Keys already know how to invest. You're going to see me, everybody. If I connected with you in Atlanta or Tulsa before, my phone got reset, send me a message, and we can continue what we was going to do business-wise. But you're going to see me do it. If you feel like you need a breakout moment and you need to elevate your business, come and network and help. And if you're reliable in any business, you'll be able to get a ton of business there. I promise you.
Yes. And Ian will have some suits on, I'm pretty sure.
Sunday, other day, I'm still in playoff mode. Friday, Saturday, I'm now, I got to be a little special on Sunday. I'm gonna treat it like Easter Sunday. Say my Easter speech real quick, but no, other days I'm gonna be chill. I'm be Jay. I'm telling you, playoff mode. That guy gets his title.
Okay. Yeah, man. You might, it's gonna be a lot of ladies there. The fellas will be there. It might be you might meet your wife or your husband there. You never know. Speaking of networking, you never know with these type of situations, Ian.
Don't make no InvestFest babies. Just
we're in Atlanta. We're in Atlanta. Anything is possible. Anything is possible. Please drink responsibly on Friday, ladies and gentlemen.
Please do.
Please
be careful.
Please.
That's all I'm gonna say. So, hey man, I need 10 picks because I got 2 of them pregnant. That's your fault. I told you not to. No, you see what Donnell said? You got to pick your wife carefully and happy wife. Hey, that's on you. No scholarship. Sorry.
No scholarship. No scholarship for the InvestFest, baby.
2 DeQuaviantes on the way. Hey, you gonna be in trouble. Hey, I'm gonna name him Troy Rashad. Hey, man. Hey, be careful. Mitigate risk at every corner and at all costs.
Mitigate risk. Oh, yeah, we definitely got the disclaimer.
Get pregnant. What mark is that? You gotta. Hey, they're gonna track you down, bro. Be careful. Be careful.
We are not responsible for any after hours activity after.
I'll be in the hotel room meditating and working on presentation. Don't telegram me. You get something pregnant. Sorry. I told you come and learn. Go learn from Trap Hill Harper, 19. You know what I mean? Get your NFT game on. Neo sing them songs and you finesse her. Hey.
Yeah, that's what it's gonna have. VIP now. You got Neo, Jagged Edge, open bar.
You gonna sing that Have a Baby by Me next to her, and then she gonna believe you got the million. No, save it for 50.
That's a dangerous. That's actually a dangerous combination. Oh,
and Jagged Edge too. Oh man.
My God. Jesus Christ.
It's gonna be fun. How many months? 9 months. I can't wait for this. What's that? February. Oh baby, for real.
Oh baby. Oh man,
I'm done.
Oh man. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's been an honor. See you guys this weekend. Make sure you check out the episode tomorrow with Ryan Glover from Greenwood Bank, and make sure you check us out on Wednesday with Maddie J talking about Toro. Yes, take the information, implement it. Best of luck to everybody. We love you, and we will see you soon.
Wear protection. Dad Joke King comedy special coming soon. Followed by the hard truth. Wait, the hard truth didn't. Never mind.
Wrap it up.
Done. Oh baby.
Oh man.